Okay, the domain is going to be all the x's. The range is going to be all the y's. Okay, and if this relation is a function, so it can be a yes if no repeating x's. Okay, and so, but other than that, it's not anything too crazy. So if there's no repeating x's, then yes, it is a function. Okay. So really the domain we list out, so we're going to say the domain, and we're going to list all these x's. So -6, comma, -4, comma. The biggest mistake people make is on the domain and range. So see how there's two -3's on there, on the list? We are not allowed to write those twice. We only write it once. Okay? So no repeating on the domain and range. Okay, so, and then we got 0. For the range, same thing, we're looking at all the y's. So it's going to be 0, -7, 0 again, which is already on our list, -6, and 3. Okay, now, your domain and range, I can have a 0 on both, but like not on the same line. Okay, and then we look and say, well, is this a function? Do any of the x's repeat?
Yes.
Yes, so then, no, it's not a function. No, you're fine. As long as you have one, I don't care. I mean, I don't really care if you don't have one. But. Okay, each set of pairs, it's going to be the exact same thing, okay? This is the domain, or the x's, and then we see a comma. That's the range, or the y's. Okay, but other than that, you're going to do the exact same thing that we did before. Okay, so the domain is going to be -3, -2, 1, 3, and 5. Okay, all these very first ones. Okay, the range is going to be -6, -2, 0, -5, and 2. Okay, did any of our x's repeat? No, so then yes, this one is a function. Okay, each graph represents a relation, determine the domain and range, and if it's a function or not. Okay, so again, the domain covers the x's, the range covers the y's. Okay, so this is our x line. Look at me, because you're gonna mess it up. This is your x line. Okay, so you're just gonna go through here and like either look down or up. Okay, so I have 1 at -6. Okay, I have 1 at -3. I have another 1 at -3, so we don't write that down. Okay, so here's when you can automatically answer. Again, I'm doing the x's, and notice how I have -3 twice. So is it a function? No. Okay, so we can go ahead and write our no down here. We know that it's not a function. Okay, I have 1 at 2, and I have another 1 at something. What is this one? 5? Okay, on the 5 marker. Okay, as far as the range goes, this is the y line. Okay, and so we're going to look over either left or right. Okay, I have 1 at -7, -5. Okay, this one is on 0 on the y line and on 1. Okay, again, and I have another repeating y, so we don't want to write that one down as well for, what is it at? -7. I scroll? You good? Okay, each mapping represents a relation, same thing, the domain and range. And whether it's a function or not, okay? So our domain is very easy to see. It's gonna be -7, 4, and 5. Okay, the range is gonna be -7, -6, -4, -1, and 0. So all of these ones. Okay, and then we need to determine whether it's a function or not. Okay, in this case, we might as well like draw a picture. Okay, so if we have 1, 2, and 3, okay, if you have more than 2 arrows coming off the 1, okay, then it is not a function. Okay, so number 1 is going to be a no. Okay, I have 3 arrows coming off that 5, so that is going to be a no. Okay, the next one on here, we do the vertical line test. Okay, they just want you to determine whether it is a function or not. And so with that vertical line test, I'm going to just draw over here, not a function, looks like this. Okay, so you know some basic pictures that are not a function. Okay, anything that's going to be sideways, okay, no matter which way it is, any closed shape, okay, or a vertical line going up and down. Okay, those are all examples of not a function. A triangle would be not a function. Something like a shape of an S, okay, would not be a function. Okay, because again, I can draw a line through this, a perfectly straight line, and it touches here and here at the same time. Same thing here, or here, or here, or here. A vertical line is made up of a million dots, and so that's why a vertical line does not qualify. Okay, same thing, I can draw a vertical line. So if we look at number 9, is that a function? No, it's not. Okay, I could draw a vertical line through here, right here, okay, or right here, okay, and it's going to touch this spot and this spot on the same time. Okay, so that one's going to be not a function, so it's going to be a no. Okay, number 11. Okay, evaluate each function for the given value. Okay, so essentially you're going to plug this in for every x. Okay, and I mean in this equation. Okay, so we're going to plug 0 in here. Okay, and we can really just type it in our calculator. So on your calculator, type in -3. Okay, every time you plug in something, you need to use parentheses. We're plugging in what number? 0. Close parenthesis, plus 3. What did you get? 3. Okay, so my answer is going to look like this. F of 0, because that's what we plugged in, equals, and we plugged in and we got 3. Okay, so we don't just write down 3. Okay, for 13, everywhere there's an x, what are we plugging in? Everywhere there's an x, what number are you plugging in?
The one after that.
2. Okay, so everywhere there's an x, we're going to be putting in 2. Okay, and so it should look like this on your calculator. You can type it. I'm just going to write it out, that way you can see it. Okay, so it should look like parentheses 2 squared. Okay, and I would definitely write that down on your paper. That way you know how to do it when it's your day of the test. -2 times -2 minus 2. Okay, so if you plug all that in, you're going to get f of 2 equals, okay, because we always put whatever we plugged in, equals, what did you get? I feel like it should be -2. Is -2? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, 15, it says sketch the graph of the line, so the intercepts. Okay, this is going to be on the x line. This is going to be on the y line. Okay, so my x-intercept is at -5, so we're going to go to -5 and put a dot. Okay, make sure you're on the x line. The y-intercept is at also -5, so we're going to go to the y line and put it on the y line at -5. Okay, and again, this is the y line, this is the x line. Okay, and then you're just going to draw a line through them and then draw 2 arrows on the end. Okay, but we're not going from dot to dot. You need the 2 arrows. Okay, the next one, it gives you a graph. Okay, does it give you a graph or did I? Each represents a relation. Cross off 17 and 18 because I did that wrong. Okay, 19 and 20, okay? It's how much do we go up? Okay, now I'm gonna say or down, but normally it's gonna be up. No, we're just gonna say up. Okay, and how much do we go over? Okay, so if you're counting from the bottom dots, how much do you have to go up and how much do you have to go over? Up what?
4.
Up 4. Over how many? 4. So it's going to look like 4 over 4. Okay, and that fraction does reduce. What does it reduce to? What is 4 over 4?
1.
1. Okay, so our slope is 1. Okay, and then the other part you're going to need, if we have a graph, okay, this is a positive line. This is a negative line. Okay, so if it's a negative line, you do need to put the negative with the slope. Okay. Okay, find the slope through each pair of points. You're going to need this formula. Make sure it is on your sheet. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You will absolutely need the formula. You're not going to be able to do it without it. Okay, and so we can go ahead and label. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Okay, and I suggest you do label them on this review, at least this side of the problem, so you can follow along and figure out if you're doing your test. Like, I'll look at it. If you like have a question, I'll look at it and say, okay, well, what was my Y2 on this one? Okay, what's your Y2? Okay, so that way you can kind of match it up. So we're going to get M equals, my Y2 is going to be 19 minus my Y1 is 2 over my X2, which is negative 15, minus my X1, which is negative 11. Okay, and so on your calculator, you can hit that fraction button and type it in exactly the way it looks. And it'll just spit you out the answer.
Negative 17 over 4.
Somebody else agree with that? Yes, no? Not done typing?
Yeah.
Who said yeah? Okay. Okay, and so that was our slope. That's what we found. Okay, the next one, I want you to find the slope and the y-intercept, okay, that looks like this. Y equals mx plus b. Whatever is here is gonna be our slope. Whatever is here is gonna be our y-intercept. Okay, and so we're gonna say m equals, what is my m? 2/3, good. What's my b? 5. Okay, write the slope intercept form. Okay, these ones do have kind of steps. So your step one is always going to be to add or subtract the x's. And then you're going to divide by the number next to the y. Okay, so those are the steps every single time, okay, for this particular one. Okay, now when you're doing your test, if you're like, man, I don't know what to do, okay, each one set of these has a set of instructions, right? Slope intercept form, and then it looks kind of like, it'll look like the same type of problem, okay? So follow along with your review step by step when you're doing your, okay, so if we look at our x's, are we gonna add or subtract them? Subtract. We're going to say minus 5x on both sides. And so I have 6y equals, we're just going to write this in a straight line, negative 5x plus 24. And now it says divide by the number next to the y. What is the number next to the y? 6. So we're going to divide everything by 6. So we get y equals, okay, and you're going to have to type in these fractions, okay, so negative 5/6, okay, it would still spit you out on your calculator, 5/6, okay, 24/6 is what? Okay, so you're going to hit your fraction button, say 24 on the top, 6 on the bottom, and hit equals. What did it give you? Let's go, you guys are gonna have taken this home.